Hi everyone and welcome. This is one of our database tutorials that we offer here from the Hanlon Library. And this particular database is going to cover the Gale Small Business Resource Center. My name is Jackie. If you haven't met me yet, I'm the Business and Economics Librarian. And I'm going to walk you through one of our key business databases. So we're going to start by going to the Hanlon Library. Of course, if you haven't been there yet, real simple web address is just hanlib, hanlib.sou.edu. You can also navigate to our site from, through either inside SOU or doing a search. Hopefully you've been here before. I'm hoping this isn't your first time, but if it is, that's just fine. So we organize a lot of our resources by subject type. That just probably makes most sense for you. It can be a way to kind of get into exactly what you need. I already have it set here on business, but if you click on these arrows, you can see all the other subject areas that we cover, but we're going to do business. I'm going to click go. And this will take you to quite a bit of information. We have information on business websites, books, and a list of all of our business databases. Some of them, like LexisNexis, do cover other topics, but in general, this is kind of your stop shop for business databases. And we scroll down right here to the Small Business Resource Center. This is a really exciting database. There is so much in it. It's sometimes difficult. Where do you begin? But we're going to focus right now on how to do business plans. I know a lot of you have that as a major assignment. Constructing your business plan, and this particular database can help you with that. So I want to scroll down. I'll go ahead and start with scrolling down. I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. What I like is that there are some great 4 chunks here of thinking through your business plan. Of course, what do you need to do? You need a plan, which includes, particular elements. How do you budget? How do you work with ideas? How do you work on marketing? How can you work on with research and then marketing itself? How do you research your consumer base? How do you actually then go about having an effective marketing strategy? You can see over here, wobbling a bit, funding. Of course, usually you need money to help you start out, and this takes you to different avenues where you can seek that out. And then also some other details about starting a business. What's trending in small businesses. You might want to stay with the trend. You might want to see if you can jump that trend. It's just worth building your knowledge base so you can make some wise decisions. There's also some specific business criteria if you're going to have a home-based business. If you happen to be a minority or a veteran or a woman, there are some other avenues to gain resources for your businesses. And there's also, of course, with any business, different business structures and legalities you have to think about. Kind of hidden behind here is some links to managing your resources. Again, financing, technology, working with employees and such. So we start at the bottom. We're now going to go to the top. You can always do a basic search. Certainly don't want to dissuade you from that. But I do want to point out, really with this, we're talking about business plans. Tons of information under business topics. I really want to point this out to you because, again, tons of information, everything from cash flow to risk management, very important, and working with employees, family-owned businesses, different business types. So if you want to explore a little bit more, you really want to perhaps design and develop a health club. Link there, that will take you to information on health clubs. And finally, where we're going to spend most of our time here, how to. And we're doing a business plan. So let's go ahead and start with that, how to write a business plan. So what comes up in Small Business Resource Center when we click on this how to is a very specific subject. Everything here is coming from, on business plans, there's 255. All of these links are coming from a resource called the Business Plan Handbook. And there's a couple things you can do here. Right now it's kind of an overview organization, you might want to focus in a couple different ways. One is that you might want to search with what kind of business you would like to go into. So if you want to do something like something with apparel, let's say, click there. And we'll see, actually, does anything come up with apparel? And we've actually reduced it down to 11. You've probably already thought about this, is thinking about your keywords. I went ahead and went straight to apparel, right? But, you might want to think about, I could have said clothing. I could have said specific types of apparel. I could have said footwear, shoes, women's clothing, men's clothing, children's clothing, that sort of thing. So something to keep in mind. Right now, we came up with 11 results. I think that's pretty reasonable. But something else you might want to do is focus on your date range. I think that can always be helpful, especially in business. So this is our starting date. You might want to go back to, it's really up to you. Again, we only have 11 results, so it's not that big of a deal. You might want to go back to 2010. You can see how to change the date. I think that's clear. To, let's say, December 30th, and search. Well, now we're down to 7. So we're getting, very current information. Let's go ahead and click on this first one here, just to point it out to you. And right now it's covering what we generally expect from a business plan. They're giving us an executive summary. They're talking about what are the products you would actually sell. You've done your market analysis, or they've done their market analysis, and really the details that help build the evidence of how they're going to tell the story about their business and how they're going to convince others, especially if you're seeking funding, why your business will be successful. You've shown that not only can you tell a good story in your executive summary, your 90-second elevator speech, for example, but you also have done the research to back up, given some evidence, why you think this will work. Why are you somebody would want to lend money to? So as you find these resources, I do like to point out that you can listen to these. Some people I know do like to do that. Go jogging and listen to a business plan. But you can also email these to yourself. It does not have to be your SOU email. You can certainly do that. You can download it if you like having that magic, flash drive that you take everywhere. You can certainly do that. Some of these other features are great. These highlights and notes, and saving. These I spend less time on because they're very valuable. But I want you to advise you, you would have to create an account within Gale to do so, which you can certainly do. They have a couple different options of signing in, but it requires you to do that. So if you want to manage that account and you find this useful, that's totally fine. But most people I do find actually tend to email or print. There is a helpful citation tool. You've probably seen that in a lot of our databases. When you click on it, there's MLA. Of course, this is business. We're using APA. And you can use the citation here. If you're doing this for a class, of course, you need to include this. One thing I would recommend is double check with your instructor. Some instructors are very adamant they want this long URL. Others, that's not as important. So, find out from your instructor, what is that? What are they looking for? Very useful information. You can click on related resources if you want to find out what else is related to this, but we can also go back to our search results. Because I did want to point out a couple other things to you, and we have some other topics such as really specifically down to articles. We can look at both business planning and articles about business planning. This has now taken us out of the business handbook. By the way, it's we've expanded that out from looking at that particular handbook and resources within it to now articles about that, and that might be, I just make sure that's clear that we've gone from that. But this, getting some articles about your topic can be great as well. And if you find it too limiting, that's when you can, go back, change your search a little bit. So that's kind of an overview. I really just wanted to focus on business plans here in 10 minutes or less. So hopefully that gives you a good start on how to go in, browse around, I'm sure you'll know at no time. If you have questions, of course, please call me at any time. Thanks.